No, I didn't crash my camera, but I did make a huge fail at this shoot. I'm gonna come back to that in a second, but first, how do you shoot a small house and make it look epic? It might not be the way you think. We're gonna go on site today and I'm gonna show you a completely different way to shoot real estate videos than what most people are doing. And we'll see if I can turn this small 1-bedroom little cottage into an epic real estate video. And we'll also see how I almost completely blew the entire shoot. So that's fun. Let's do it.
The goal for this, it's a very small property, so we're gonna highlight small vignettes, highlight details, and just really slow it down. And the first shot that I wanna do is a time lapse because I wanna get that going. And while the time lapse is being shot, I can get other shots. And so I'm looking for interesting shadows where we can show the passing of time. And I think right here is gonna look really cool if we can frame it up right.
Here is where I made my huge fail. So that was a 50mm shot and it was gonna be too tight for that time lapse. So I switched to a wide lens, but none of that matters because the time lapse that I shot sucked. Here's what it looked like. And that's after I sped up the footage. The problem is that the sun was moving in the same direction as the shadow. So the shadow didn't move at all, but I did get this. Now that looks like a pretty cool time lapse, but I might have cheated a little bit. I'm gonna show you exactly how I pull out that shot along with the final video, but let's go on site to get a few more shots.
So what we're gonna do is just run around and grab shots of all the detail things that I wanna get while my time lapse is going. And then once that's done, I'll start getting wide shots. And it's always good to use foreground elements to give some depth perspective. So this is a cool parallax shot because we have the background with the trees. Our subject is the chair and the table, and then we have the foreground with the door. And a little reveal shot. Sometimes I definitely have to do these multiple times to get my subject centered up, and I want the table, the middle of the table, to be my main focus. Okay. So one of the other things you want to remember too is that you want your horizontal lines to be horizontal if you're shooting straight on. All right, so I just finished up my time lapse and now I'm starting a second time lapse over here facing that direction over there. I'm gonna let that run for about 20 minutes. While that's going, I'm gonna get some wide shots. Okay, so I'm gonna calibrate this thing. Okay, be careful when I walk by not to get in the shot. Definitely wanna get wide shots of all the main spaces. Actually, I'm gonna fix that pillow. I feel like it should be facing the other direction. Okay, so we're just gonna get a slow, straight push in. Okay, and let's see. I'm gonna overshoot this a little bit because I don't know all of what I wanna use. I may use some of those detail shots, and I may use some of these. Okay, that's great. I do want to get this bathroom because it's the only bathroom I want to get. The other one is, it's just like a half bath and it's really not worth shooting, but I don't want to shoot all this stuff. Sort of just want to minimize things here. I'll leave that. I'm not really going to see that. Oh, this is tough. Okay, I think that's good. Let's do some shots out front. Easy, slow push in. Start back here, slow walk forward. Okay. That is cool.
All right, so here's a few other shots that I grabbed while I was out there. But one thing I did want to mention is that for a lot of these clips, I actually got 2 different shots each time I hit record. So I would first just get a static shot where I didn't move at all, like a tripod. And then I would start a movement, like a slider shot or a reveal shot. That way I'd have more options in the edit. And depending on where the clip is placed in the video, I could decide which shot would flow better. So now I'm going to show you the final edit. And then after that, I'll show you exactly how I kind of cheated to get that time lapse. But first, I want to mention that if you're new to real estate videography, I have some free resources that might be helpful, like a shot list guide, and I'll leave that link in the description. Be sure to grab that. And also, if this video has been helpful to you, I would love to have you subscribe to the channel. And here's the final video. All right, so if you've made it this far into the video, God bless you for sticking around. I appreciate you. So here's what I did to get that shot. Here is the original shot. If I just play it from the beginning, it looks like this. I just did the same thing where I hold the shot for a little bit and then I did a little pan around. But what I did with this shot was I just took a screenshot inside of Final Cut. I just grabbed a still frame from here. And what I did was I brought that into Photoshop and then I actually just fixed it up a little bit. I fixed the candle so that it was full size again. And there was also some like spider webs outside or something like that. And I just cleaned that up. And then once I did all of that, I brought it into Higgsfield. And then I just did an animation in Kling. I did that in Kling 2.6. All I did was give it a prompt to say, create a time lapse, no camera movement. And this is what it gave me. So I love this. It came out really great. The only problem with this is that we have this candle turning on right there. And that's like a complete dead giveaway of AI. So all I did was, once I did this, I downloaded this. I brought it into Final Cut and I overlaid the static shot on top of that. And then I just masked the static shot part of this in so that that candle would not show.